Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Molchop here, coming at you with Game 5 of Group B of the Korean Air OSL Season 2 Round of 16. Excuse me. And this is going to be a ZVZ between ZerO and Hyuk. ZerO and Hyuk, two of the most infamous Zerg players. It's going to be a very interesting game. ZerO, of course, one of my favorite players. Hyuk, of course, one of my players who he's one of those guys that you love to hate, sort of, or some people love to love him too. I don't know how I feel about him. He was famous for a while for as I believe Cholera put it, grasping defeat from the jaws of victory. He was known for, to Hyuk was a verb that meant to do really well and then screw it all up. And then for a while he started doing really well, sort of some of the time, and anyway, point being, you never know what to expect from Hyuk. ZerO, you never know what to expect from also, just because he just is such a creative player. He can bust out anything at any time. He is one of the people that's been, that kind of brought this new ZVZ to the fore recently, with, Queen play and stuff like that, Queens being involved. Defiler's late game sort of play. So ZerO has been one of the people that's kind of brought about that sort of mini revolution in ZVZ that we've been seeing lately. Anyway, the game is about to get underway. Real quick, the situation in the group at this point is that ZerO is at 1-1. He of course went up against Flash. Flash, I haven't seen that game yet. I've heard it's very good. I might actually go back and commentate it, even though I know the result, because I heard it was very good. Anyway, by the way, let me get the colors for you here real quick. Red Zerg is going to be ZerO. The purple is going to be Hyuk. So ZerO is going to be the red in the top right-hand corner. Hyuk is going to be the purple in the bottom right-hand corner. And this is Eye of the Storm. Both players setting their overlords in the correct direction, so it's going to be a very tactical game. Less likely that someone will just get lucky, by having more scouting information or something like that. But we'll see what happens with the builds. Anyway, so Hyuk is at 0-2, ZerO is at 1-1. So if ZerO wins this game, he pretty much clinches his place in the OSL round of 8, because then the last game will be Flash versus Haya, and Flash will almost certainly not lose to Haya. And because even if he does lose to Haya, then it's still a three-way tie, and I believe ZerO would probably do well against Haya and still clinch that second spot, as he has already beaten Haya in this group. I'm surprised Haya's in the round of 16, to be honest. I haven't been watching him lately. Maybe he's been playing better than I give him credit for, but Haya is usually a sort of a mediocre player, capable of playing very well, but usually not the top level. Anyway, point being, if Hyuk wins, though, so if ZerO wins, he'll be at 2-1, and then Flash will probably make Haya at 1-2, and then it'll just be Flash and ZerO will advance. If Hyuk wins, then Hyuk will be 1-2, ZerO will be 1-2, and then if Haya loses, he'll be 1-2, and then it'll go to a three-way tiebreaker between Hyuk, ZerO, and Haya. Or if Hyuk wins and Haya wins against Flash somehow, then Flash and Haya will escape from this round, from this group. So it's very, very up in the air. And look at this. His overlord is going to arrive just as the hatchery gets made. It looks as if... sorry, I wasn't watching the builds too much. It looks like their pools are just about on par. ZerO managed to get his hatchery down just a moment earlier. And it looks like his pool is up a moment later. So pretty much identical builds, though, for all intents and purposes. Either way, point being, this is a must-win situation for both players. If either player loses this game, their chances of getting out are very, very decreased. So, and Hyuk, even if he wins this game, has a very low chance of getting out of the OSL round of 16. So, very important game here, especially for fans of ZerO like myself. Anyway, some Zerglings are now on the way. Let's see what pops out of those eggs. Some Zerglings popping out here. I'm curious to see if he maybe hatched an extra drone, try to sneak an extra drone in there, but probably not, considering the fact... Well, he knows that that Hyuk went for an extra expansion as well. Here comes 4 Zerglings running in here. ZerO has his 4 Zerglings there as well. 6 Zerglings now there. 2 more coming out. His Zerglings are coming out a little bit later, but just in time to be able to defend the equal amount of Zerglings. And he's got a drone in there just for good measure, just to help defend, because he knows he's pumping out lots of Zerglings. And Hyuk has taken drones off gas, which means he's probably got enough for the speed upgrade, and then he's just going to start pumping Zerglings from his 2 hatcheries. He's planting down a colony. ZerO feeling a lot of pressure here, and he's going to try and use some static defense to get an advantage in this. Hyuk putting out lots and lots of Zerglings. He may have snuck out an extra drone there after all, because he's just having a hard time keeping up in Zerglings. Hyuk gaining an advantage in Zerglings, but then backing off there for a moment. If he just kept going with those Zerglings for a little bit longer, I think he could have gotten a couple more Zerglings down also. Maybe his Zerglings were low on health that I couldn't see. But Hyuk instead is running his Zerglings back home. Maybe also worried about engaging with that sunken colony about to pop out. So now ZerO with the Spire going up, again, almost exactly the same time, almost mirror builds here. The only difference is that I think ZerO snuck out an extra drone before his building Zerglings, but he also then built a sunken colony. So let me see if I can get a drone count. But they're both at 18 supply. Looks as if Hyuk is a little bit behind. No, his Overlord just popped out. So they're both at even supply counts as well. So pretty much even all across the board here for both these players. Very, very close game. This is going to be a micro-intensive game. ZerO has... Oh, look at that! Drones hatching for ZerO. He's going to have a major advantage now if Hyuk is not hatching drones, and I don't think he can afford to hatch drones because he's got less Zerglings right now, or about even Zerglings, but he's forcing him to build all Zerglings because ZerO's now pressuring him with Zerglings, but because he has that sunken colony, he felt he had enough leeway that he could make his own drones instead. He's got larva Spire pops. He's only got 3 larvae with that Spire. He's going to have to run his Zerglings back, and look at this, 2 Zerglings running all the way around the map to try and sneak in there. If they can get a single drone, that will be huge. That will be absolutely huge. Hyuk now running lots and lots of Zerglings out towards ZerO's base, though, and ZerO, I think, sees those Zerglings with an Overlord, is now going to run in his own Zerglings. 2 Zerglings going to catch him. One gets caught, the other gets caught, but he's running in. Hyuk running with tons of Zerglings. They engage the sunken colony, and he has so many much more Zerglings, but more Zerglings coming in for ZerO, and his Zerglings being supported by the sunken colony. Hyuk's Zerglings get slaughtered. Hyuk gets absolutely slaughtered. Oh, man. And losing, I guess maybe slaughter isn't the best term for it, because he did kill almost all of ZerO's Zerglings as well, but I think ZerO had less Zerglings to begin with. And came out ahead with more. A single Scourge landing on the Mutalisk there. I think possibly 2 Mutalisks there. Oh man, is he going to be able to microwave? He micros away a single Scourge. He's got, oh man, this is going to come down to some very, very, very precise micro. 3 Scourge though, backing off. Instead of just getting picked off, he's going to follow those Scourge back. And now ZerO, for some reason, putting pressure on with his Mutalisks. I don't think he can afford this. He's got, well, actually, it looks like only one of the Mutalisks is damaged from a Scourge, so he's going to try and move in here and do an attack anyways, but he really doesn't have enough forces to attack with, I don't think. Hyuk has just as many Mutalisks, I believe. He might have one less, actually, but they're very, very close in health regardless, and he's moving in. It looks like ZerO may have actually had more Mutalisks. After all, I thought Hyuk was even in Mutalisks, but ZerO may have had an extra Mutalisk because now he's gotten an advantage. He's killed off a Mutalisk of Hyuk's, and now he's starting to pick off drones. He's just putting the pressure on here. ZerO putting tons of pressure on, kills all the Mutalisks, and Hyuk, GG's! Hyuk had less than I thought, and he also had less drones. So I'm sorry I misread those Mutalisks there, but he must have had only 2 Mutalisks there instead of 3 or 4, which is what I thought. So that one reinforcing and then another one got killed off. That's right, because he built Scourge first. He built the Scourge first, and I believe when ZerO engaged with his Mutas, all of those Scourge landed on a single Muta, so he lost 3 Scourge for 1 Muta, which isn't cost effective at that point. ZerO took an advantage with the Mutalisks there, and he, of course, knew better than I did that he had the advantage there, and he pushed right in there, knowing that he had built those Scourge. He figured that out quicker than I did, and just pushed in, and wow, and Hyuk had nothing to fall back on because he had thrown away all of his Zerglings, as Hyuk is wont to do. Just like Hyuk versus Effort. He made this huge amount of Zerglings and then just threw them away on static defenses. Really not... terribly wise. Anyways, so Hyuk's himself once again out of the OSL. He is now 0-3 in the group. There's no way he can get out of this. Even if it does go to some kind of crazy tiebreaker, it'll be between ZerO, Flash, and Haya. So Hyuk has no chances. But hopefully, Flash will beat Haya, and then Flash and ZerO will just advance from their group into the OSL round of 8. ZerO, once again, getting into a high place in the Star League. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this match. Thanks very much for watching. And you know what? I think I'm going to go on and do another one of these OSL games too. So hopefully I'll see you there. Bye-bye.